welcome to you, of course, Moja Multimedia, and this is Tess Danker with the Lifestyle Show. With me is none other than Kim Louis. A warm welcome to you. Thank you for coming to our studios today. It's absolutely so wonderful to see you, and you always light up the room. You've got such a presence about you.
Oh, thank you, Tess. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I try and just stick to the essence of me, so thank you. Glad to know it's working.
So let us start with a question: Is who is Kim? I know I've seen you perform on Sunday. Absolutely amazing,
Thank
powerful
you.
voice.
Thank you.
But who is Kim outside the singing career?
Oh, wisdom. I like to, if I had to label myself, it would be fempreneur. Because I was taught that as a creative, when you're not working, you need to be creating. And so outside of arts, I am a qualified facilities manager. I have a mini MBA in telecommunications. I'm a qualified vocal coach. I'm a facilitator. Did I say master of ceremonies? Motivational speaker. The motivational speaking part I enjoy a lot.
That's awesome. But you know what? As we were growing up as youth, there was always something. There's always say, I don't know if you heard this, that that's a special child. Like special in the sense of, I mean, they probably picked it up when you were 10, 12, and you walked into that room. There was just something about you, you know. So apart from that, being that special person, do you think everybody is special, or do they just show it in a different way? Some people are more noticeable than others.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that has got to do more with your personality and the influences in the home. But I believe everybody's special. And
Yeah.
as a vocal coach, I believe everybody can sing. It just takes some longer than others.
Is it?
And I feel from a communication perspective, as a vocal coach, I will tell you very straight. Some of us can do it in like maybe 6 to 12 months if you do your exercises. Some of us is going to take a bit longer because it's more your ear than your box.
Okay.
So we have to train the ear so that you could hear in that thing. So I think everybody is special. I think that we just, in our education system, is not geared up enough yet to identify your gifts and talents at such an early age. I work for inclusive education as well, so I'm going back to what else am I outside of the stage. So I'm an ambassador for inclusive education. I'm an ambassador for against gender-based violence, and like I said, the motivational talks that I do is all about doing away with hate speech, with negative speech. I feel that we are the problem as parents and as adults, and I feel that you can't change the world, but right now you're my world, so I can change you or influence you to love me or treat me better. And they say boundaries are for people who you want to love you. You want them to love you better. You don't want them, you're not putting it in place to get them away. If they still love you, then they must love you like that. And this is what that's why I believe everybody is special. And this was my experience in primary school, if I may go there now.
Yeah.
I grew up in Steenberg, and my mom was a tea lady in the Navy, and my dad was a laborer also in the Navy. So you can imagine the money wasn't all that great. I've got 4 brothers, I'm the baby and the only girl. So, you know, the culture of drinkery, and you know, my mom was a ballroom queen, my dad was in the liquor trade as well, so I used to work at different hotels and, you know, after the Navy and whatever. And there was that culture of, there was a big GBV climate then, there was a big climate of good times, and we're talking about the 70s, Woodstock, you know, there was a lot of mixing going on. But there was also a lot of violence that was unreported, and that culture of kom huis toe, donor jou vrou, so we had a bit of that in our family, and my mom then sent me to live with my grandmother in Heathfield, which was a more affluent area according to what we used to believe. And there I had a teacher called Gloriana Kruti, and my aunt Joy Cotton also taught at the school, and they very early picked up that I have this talent, which I'm sure a lot of other kids had. And I'm saying, I'm now looking as an adult back, I'm reflecting and I'm trying to justify why was I the way I was. And I'm mentioning the GBV thing because think about it. Have you seen a quiet person being aggressive? So I think maybe my personality was that this bigness, this boldness is like, I'm not going to be small, I'm not going to talk soft. Maybe it comes from that, I don't know. Because I feel very much if the culture in the home is one of the quiet reading, then that's how your child's probably going to come out. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't think that we that much different to each other. I don't.
Yeah.
I just feel it's the influences, but we all are special. All of us, each and every one of us.
Another question I want to touch on you, and I think it's a little bit early to ask you this question. How do you feel about professional jealousy within the industry? And how do you perceive that? How do you cope with that?
Firstly, I think that it's a systemic problem. I think that if it was changed at the government policy, constitution space, that would already alleviate this professional jealousy thing. Because the reason why it's happening, number one, there is no work. There isn't enough job security as a singer. And that is one of them. I'm physically, I'm Tess, as beautiful as you are, you don't look like me. You're not shaped like me. You don't have my personality, and you don't have my voice. But you have your own voice and your own shape and your own personality. And I feel that if you bring it, what is there to be insecure about?
Exactly.
But I think that is like I said, it's a byproduct.
Correct.
Of the system that needs to be fixed. Because right now we're throwing each other under the bus for $500 for a gig, which is nobody should be paying that. Should be getting paid $500 in the 21st century.
So looking back in your career, and I believe you've done some acting. Tell me a little bit about that.
Look, my acting started at the age of 16. Like I said, I was at South Peninsula High at the time. My music teacher had passed me over to a school that was geared to elevate me, to groom me further. And this was Rosalind Bender, Mr. Van Rooyen, quite a few teachers at South Peninsula. We were auditioned out of 7. I stand corrected here also because it's been a long time. I'd felt like 700 kids. It could have been 300 to 400 at the Eon group. And myself, Kino Lee, Hector, Margarita Freaks, Peaches, who's passed away, God rest her soul, she was part of that program. A few of us are products of the Music Active program, which was run by Brian Slingers, David Kramer, and Mark Lotwing was also involved. And that was when we did Poison, the student production. What David Kramer and Tali Peterson did was they brought Lukman and Jody and Alistair, them all in, which was at that point professionals. We were.
Yeah.
And to work with professionals as a student was and I've taken that. This is what I use now with my motivational talks.
Wow.
So it was mind-blowing to stand next to somebody that you've only just seen on TV or on stage.
Yes.
So that's where my acting career started. It was a musical acting career. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Obviously it stems from school plays and things like that as well. And then when COVID hit, I never wanted to do TV because I was always a big woman. And I had told myself that when I do see myself on camera, I didn't like what I saw. And because I felt that camera makes you like 10 times bigger and da-da-da-da-da. And I think I was still a bit immature in my thinking about myself and how I should love myself. When COVID hit us though, it was, what could we do? Because the theatres were closed. I was forced to go into TV because that at least was contained and managed. And I auditioned and I landed one of the lead roles in my first South African movie called Nativity. It happened over the festive season and it was produced by Ephraim and Bianca Flanders, Ephraim Gordon and Bianca Flanders. And it was amazing. It was such a good experience, and I thank God for. It's important when you have a good director and producer. I thank God for that.
Yeah.
Because after that, I went on to do Saint Ooster and Arensvlei, and I played the voice of Rana Kaya in Elif.
In Elif, yeah.
Yes. And I love it. I love the acting. Even when I do shows, I incorporate it in my shows. Yes.
Up, yeah.
Because ek sê sommer vir die mense, if I do a show, be prepared dat jy gaan sommer 6 different accents nou uitkom, because I'm an actress. I have poetic license to do that. I can speak to you right now like an American, or we can do Afrikaans, and this is for me what our kids should be doing. But when the minute, and this is why I brought my t-shirt with called Sturvy.
Yeah.
You feel primary to gestuur across the line, and after that I went to South Peninsula, and this is a gift from Tracy Kwai. She's another activist, and she had a project on words, Sturvy versus Gam, which was a big thing for me as a child.
Yes.
Because ek het mos nou SP toe te gaan, and I only went back home to Steenberg in my high school career.
Yes.
And when I came back to raw, ek like die poppe spin, ek is net raw.
Different mannerism
raw,
about you.
yes.
Yeah.
And the way I held myself, the way I carry, the way I walk, it was different. To the washpagamis, and you know what? I'm not dissing that.
Yes,
I grew up with that.
Exactly.
But why punish me for being different?
Exactly.
And as a child, I wasn't involved in the decisions that my mom made. She did it to protect me. And it turned out good, because going to this place, I took up the opportunity that was presented to me. And I was good enough to clap for when the success was there. But as a child, you guys were victimizing me.
Correct.
Saying me, Jay, ice cream. You think you're
walk in
better
your
than
road,
us.
and
Yeah. Even their looks, their body language was like, who do you think is Jay?
it was almost like a sentence to be beautiful. It was almost like a sentence to be different, and you keep yourself white. No, it's not about keeping yourself white. It's about knowing who you are and finding your value. You know what I mean?
And making choices.
Exactly.
For yourself. What fits, what feels good, what feels.
Yeah.
And I say it in my bio. Don't allow your circumstances to dictate your future.
Correct.
Just because you live in a hockey or whatever, it's not only you. In the minute you talk to other
needs
people,
are not special.
you realize that, but this play you can hockey. We didn't talk about it because we're ashamed.
Correct.
And you say, as artists, we perpetuate the problem of this glamour. You hit the nail on the head. It takes a lot of money to look this good. And if you don't have it, what are you gonna do? You go back to the status quo. Look at the artists now in the clubs. Do they dress up the way that I do? No. They're keeping it casual because why must I? We're really not getting paid enough the money. Why do I need to shine? But what we forget is, this is my day job. This is your day job. When you're doing it, put your best foot forward. Otherwise, you're not going to be requested.
Correct. Dress for success.
Don't forget that.
Yes.
If you get paid for 2 30-minute sets, jy's nie daar om te party of te drink nie, jy's daar om te werk.
Correct.
Do your job, do it good, do your thing, and leave. What happens now is we still fall under this apartheid dop system here in the Cape. You get paid with alcohol. You get paid with being friends. Oh, you're the owner of a club. So, I will compromise on myself and my worth. Because I know that he's a lanchi. So, yeah, you're going to pay me $500 a gig, but you're going to keep me here regularly. Why? You're making it worse for us.
Set a standard.
Exactly. Charles Lingervelder is a very good producer, actor, songwriter. He did a post on Facebook the other day, and I actually spoke to Dr. Albertine on Sunday about it and to Quentin.
Yes.
It was about the quality of the arts in South Africa and the fact that standing ovation has lost its credibility. Because we give standing ovations for alles wat malice now these days. And how are you going to compare apples with apples?
Mm.
Because we're not all apples. You that's starting out singing now, you're just coming into the industry, you don't know what I know. You haven't been trained the way I've been trained.
Correct.
And this kid's on Sunday as well. Yes, I know from a sentimental, emotional perspective, we're there to clap. But the context is different. Because I want to work with them now when they come back. And elevate them so that they can really get that honest standing ovation.
Yes. Not emotional.
Do you understand?
Not the emotional ovation,
That's
but something that is of standard.
There we go.
Yes.
Because right now, that is the quality that we're putting out there. And we're asking to get paid the same. You think about it, it's actually a very big role reversal because they will get paid $500 for a gig. And because they're settling for it now, they expect me to do it as well.
Exactly.
Which is not fair.
With all your experience that you have, you know.
So how do we fix this? We fix it constitutionally. That is how I believe. Because look, the other authoritative bodies are all there.
Yeah.
SAMRO is there.
Mm.
You know that every venue that plays music is supposed to submit their playlist every day
Yes.
so that artists could get royalties.
Yes.
But because the venues are not playing with, it's
So
not
you
happening.
lose out on your royalties as well.
But also we lose out on data. As far as I'm concerned, whenever it comes to government and things like that and NPO and things, we work with monitoring and evaluation because you need stats.
But isn't there like, I'm just asking out loud, isn't there like inspectors that go about, you know, you get your
I
liquor
would
license inspectors that will do that for you.
I would hope they.
But I mean, you know, picking up all these things that you are playing music, what music are you playing?
Thank you.
So that the artists are not discredited and they get what is due to them.
Thank you.
You know
Thank
what I
you.
mean?
And I mean, it will all tie in if that one little thing, and I'm putting it out there as it has not been confirmed yet. I'm going to look in the white paper about this registration as a busker. In my logical mind, and I'm not professing to know everything, but I have logic, I have reasoning skills. So I want to ask, why then can it not happen that we do get contracts at these venues? Even if you're paying me 500 Rand for the gig, it would be data. It would be data that could go to SARS and, oh, here's a singer in a restaurant, this is what she get paid, this is the tax. Is it relative, or what's the word?
Yeah.
Does it fit?
Yes.
Is it right? Because now you're going to get somebody else, maybe bigger, let's say Richard Caesar playing and he gets a gig for maybe 7 grand. It's on the contract.
Yes.
So now SARS sees, oh, okay, now why? So then now we can compare because now there's stats.
Because are they saying now that this is what I'm hearing what you're saying, and I'm standing out a correction that, you know, if you are a recruitment consultant and you go check up and say, okay, how much do they get paid? And they get the scale. When it comes to artists, there's no scale.
There's no benchmark, yeah. And I don't feel that you need to reinvent the wheel, because 26 years ago when we were on Broadway in New York and London, you that play a trumpeter, you can't just come in after having learnt 2-3 years ago. You must come in with your bio. And that is how I think they benchmark. Because you can't just be a nobody and walk and come in there and want to go. And we don't have that.
Yeah, and even with the medical professionals, so you get your junior doctor, which is 1 year to 5 years, then you get your senior doctor, which is 5 to 10 years, and they get paid on different scales. But when it comes to artists, there's no scale.
Because there's no data, there's no stats. As far as I'm concerned, there isn't. Like I said, Artscape and Baxter, the big theatre houses, they work with contracts. I know I've paid tax when I work with David and Talib at the Baxter. I pay tax. But now, back to that. Do you qualify for unemployment? You should. Do we draw unemployment? No. Because we don't have a 1 year contract. You maybe have a 3-month run. We can't tap into the UIF. We can't tap into the maternity leave because we don't work a full a normal 40-hour week, 1 year, so like your contract, our contracts normally get renewed after a year.
Correct.
So how do we do that?
And how do you sustain yourself,
And how do
your
you sustain?
lifestyle?
Exactly.
And then you still have to look beautiful.
Exactly.
And people still criticize you. You have to face that as well. So it's not an easy job as people seem it out to be. It's not for the faint-hearted either. You know?
And this is why when you, I'm jumping the gun here.
It's fine.
As far as my role models is concerned, my role models are South African women here, and I'm fortunate to say they're close friends of mine. People like Jill Liebenberg, Saint Ooster Maimuna. People like Khadija Tracy Higa, she's the lead in Skiermegrond. Leanne van Rooy, Bianca Flanders. Because these are women who have made it in this industry despite the circumstances. I even say to them that I'm only experiencing my struggle theatre days now, because I was fortunate enough to have been auditioned at the age of 16, and then this trajectory just ran. From 16, we ended up on Broadway in 99, from 93.
Wow.
And then I got married and came back and went into corporate. I didn't do the whole go waitress while you acting. I didn't do that sleeping in your car.
Yes.
I didn't do that. I'm doing it now. And let me tell you, it's very humbling.
It is.
And now when I look at my friends and they finally at this age only buying houses. Think about it. If you don't have a pay slip, how do you go to the bank to go put a bond
How
down?
do you get a car? Just for traveling.
And this is something that is a reality overseas as well.
Yes.
Unfortunately, when I was in Spain, I had to have 2 jobs because we get exploited there as well. And the unique thing about us, and I dare say the apartheid system and being brown, we were here to sing about everything. We sing when we're sad, we sing when we're happy, we sing when we're angry, we sing when we protest.
Everything's in rhythm.
Do you understand? You know, so everything is in a rhythm.
Yeah.
And it's very prevalent in Europe, and it's very prevalent that we have a bit more of that rhythm and musical talent than what other countries do, and they look for us.
Yeah.
But yet, we still get exploited.
Yeah. So my other question is your dedication for uplifting the youth. If I should say to you beyond the borders, how does that resonate with you working with the youth?
It's exactly what we've been talking about right now. It's about exposing them to just taking them out of the prison. I do motivational talks at different schools. Sturvey is one of them.
Yeah.
Because I believe you must speak life. Instead of saying jy's stupid or jy's ou gat. I say this because my mom and I had a very volatile relationship because things happened when they were younger. And you as a mother, you fear that happening to your own daughter.
Yes, that's right.
And that's what she feared for me. So she thought I was doing things that I wasn't even doing it. And for me, going to a school across the line allowed me to see how people do things differently. They do family differently. They do eating differently. So it's not about your color. It's not about your color. It's about your culture.
Yes. The other thing I wanted to ask you, in your career, you know, if I'm not saying there will be regrets. I don't believe you should ever live with regrets. But if you could relive your life, what are the lessons? What is something that you thought, gosh, I should have stayed here, or I should have done this, or you know what I mean? What's the lessons?
I think I should have stuck it out at university because I dropped out midway through my second year. Mainly because I went to travel. I went to London at the time. But mostly because of the education system. And even though I was at a so-called Model C school, it was still very overwhelming. Going into that lecture theatre at UCT, the culture is different, the teaching style is different. Now for the first time, you have a majority of white people in your class. Where I never had that at Model C. And lecture style teaching is very much put the stuff up on the screen and think for yourself kind of thing. And it was very overwhelming for me. And I feel that if I had to pursue that or persevere, that I would have made very different choices overseas. Because the other kind of regret I have is after Broadway, leaving. I got offered a movie to go do in Italy at that point in time, but because of my own fears and insecurities, I decided no, I have to get back home. I have to come in. And that is why I'm so passionate about exposing the youth, man, because you need to, don't knock it till you try it. That is one of my other, I have a lot of key like gemstones. Don't knock it till you try it, and if you do something, do it good. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to take that challenge, if you're going to do it, make it worth it. And I am that girl. I am that girl. If I'm going to do something, it must be with everything that I've got. Because if it messes up, then at least they can fight.
Yeah. My motto was when I was naughty, and I know my cousins are going to do something naughty. Now I was always with the nephew, the only girl. If we're gonna catch on nonsense, I said just make a good nonsense because we're gonna get into trouble anyway. So make it happen.
That's it.
Yeah. But what dress did you wear for your Broadway? Did you wanna show?
So opening night on Broadway was
tell
still
me about
the
it.
epitome of my career. It was a mind-blowing experience.
Uh.
And I bought this. It was $1,500. 26 years ago, and this was, thank you so much, the dress that I wore.
Oh my, and you still fit in it?
I fit into it now. Let me tell you.
Beautiful.
And it weighs like 3
it's
kilos.
heavy.
Yeah, because it's fully beaded. It was
You
a
can
good
still
fit.
leave it there now.
So opening night was a mind-blowing experience for me, and rubbing shoulders with Tim Robbins, Susan Sarandon,
Wow.
things like that. Like that woman from Touched by an Angel, I can't get to her name now. She was also there, and it was just a mind-blowing experience, and I want more of our kids to experience that.
So Kim, thank you for visiting Moja Multimedia Studios, and I hope to see you soon.
Thank you. It's been an absolute honor, and I'm very proud to be here because I said to them earlier, I love the woman power thing. I'm all about that, so I'm very proud of that. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.